Hello, Sophie. Welcome to my podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. I'm really excited.
So, for those people of the audience that don't know you, I think it would be a really good idea if you would introduce yourself and maybe share a bit of your story and your journey.
My name is Sophie Prana. I am a skin influencer and traveler. I have an online business sharing my knowledge about skincare. I came from a complete different field. From the hotel management area, actually, I had two restaurants. And when I turned 30, I kind of had a breakdown in terms of just being overwhelmed with the daily life of a very young restaurant entrepreneur, and found my spiritual way, changed my profession, started to do yoga, started to eat differently, started to see the world a little bit differently. And then, from there, the story goes. I started to create my own business. First, it was more focused on healthy eating and yoga. I then went to colon health and skin health. And nowadays, after like 6 or 7 years establishing myself on the market, I have this business and it's going quite well. I'm helping tons of women every single day, and it feels amazing to reach out to a very wide and broad audience and share healing and well-being.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, because I have been really following you for quite some time, and I saw that at the beginning, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were more focused on gut health with juice cleansing and how important water is and where it is from, which I think you still focus on. But then I have seen new content based on skincare and what to use. And I think you recently launched a new program, right, for skin?
So you are right in terms of that my content has changed a little bit throughout the years. I did start with yoga because when I started my Instagram, I thought, oh, Instagram is a great platform just to get more students or to find people for my retreat. So I wanted to just put myself out there with all my yoga poses at like daily practice. And it then went very natural and very flowy with my personal life and change. Like I started to eat differently. Like I told you, I went raw vegan 4 years ago. So I really included that into my Instagram, and I was all crazy about the fruits and juices and fasting and detoxing. So it really was not like this fixed program of pictures and like posts that I had in my mind, but it was very naturally. So I always took my audience with me on my life journey. And then from my own healing path, I started to do more of like gut and colon experiences, also with my colonic treatments that I give. So that was back in like 2020, I think, more of the focus. And then because of all the detoxing, I started to develop very heavy pigmentation spots, melasma, because I was taking the anti-baby pill for 14 years and like didn't have the healthiest lifestyle. So of course, with all the detoxing and being on fruits and vegetables mainly, and on juices, of course, it all came out and it manifested on my skin. And I live in the tropics most of the year. So with the sun exposure, all the poison and toxins were just on my skin. So I started to take my audience on my personal skin healing path. And I saw that there was such a huge demand for skin health and support in skin health issues that I started to launch a skin influencer academy. I'm still in the process of launching it, where women, also men, but it's mainly women, can start their own business with my support and my help. Online business, which in times like these, I think is just such a blessing that we can work anywhere, anyhow, at any time. And yeah, with my help, you become somebody who can help others in their skin health path, and you create your own skinfluencer business.
That's so wonderful. I don't think I've ever seen anybody creating what you're creating. And I think it's so powerful and inspiring. And yeah, the other day, from time to time, I go to your website to see if I can do like the juice cleansing and things like that. And I saw the skincare one. And I was like so amazed. I was like, this one is a new one. I got super excited because yeah, I feel it's like something really really new and uncommon to see. In the this health field of Instagram and business.
Yeah, so I think my first ebook launched last year. It was a huge success because back then we had the pandemic, everybody was at home, everybody was like bored, didn't know what to do with their time. Everybody wanted to educate themselves. And I myself wasn't really into online courses, but my friend said, oh my God, you have to share all your massage techniques and all the knowledge about the products and so on, because people will love it to do all these things of self-love practice and self-treats when they're back home locked into their apartment. So I started to sit down and research how to write an ebook and how to do an online course. I had no idea at all. So I locked myself in here in Tulum for 3 weeks into my apartment, and all day long I was just going crazy about the course. And yeah, I created this program and it was super successful, and it was in German. So of course, then there was the demand, do it in English, do it in English. And then from there, I started the juice program. This winter, I launched my soup fast. It's alkaline soup fast for the winter periods. And then, yes, you're right, there is now another skin program. But what I'm launching now with the Skinfluencer Academy is actually even bigger, because it's not a program of 10 days or 5 days or a week, but it really is a life-changing program where you open your own business, you become the CEO of your own beauty business. And with my help, you establish a business where you are the boss and where you start growing your own business, and you can make amazing money with it. You can just, change your life for 180 degrees. Of course, this is also possible if you're a single mom and you just want to get a little extra income on the side. But this is also possible to just explode and become crazy big and just change your life for a complete 100 degrees angle.
It's so wonderful. I think it's so inspiring. I wanted to ask you, what are the challenges that you found in this journey of yours, like the entire journey, and also the moment that you decided to build this?
I must confess that most struggles always came from the outside, because I'm a very intuitive person. So if I feel it, if my gut says yes, then I'm like 100% into it. And then comes the outside, like, you can't do this, you don't have a clue about this, nobody needs this, why should people buy this? This is crazy. So many people think they know better than me, and they have to tell me how my life goes. So there is more these fears that other people put on myself. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, perhaps they're right. Perhaps nobody will buy it. Perhaps this is a very bad idea. Perhaps I'm just wasting my time, or perhaps it's super unprofessional. And actually, I'm not a skin expert because I don't have the expertise of having skin education. Everything I know is from my experience on my own skin and from a few courses that I did online, but it's not that I have been in a skin school for years and years. So of course there's doubts when you hear doubts from the outside. So I think that was the biggest struggle. But I also must say that I was very lucky, because I was just so into the idea of healing my own skin. And with the response I got from all the women on my Instagram and from friends that I helped, it was just so overwhelming that I knew, okay, this is the way, this is the path, this is where I want to go, and this is where I will succeed if I just go and put my focus and energy there. And what do I have to lose? I don't have to lose anything. I can always go back to having my other online business, I can always go back to doing something else, and there's nothing that I can lose. So if you look at that perspective, I was like, okay, why not try it? Be open for something new, and life is presenting me this, so why not take the chance?
Absolutely. Did those comments and affect you, like bring you down, and also to your mental health? Because I see a lot of people really get affected by this hate and this pushing you down because you're doing like something different and it's not the common thing of doing.
I must say there was a time when I was posting more about detoxing, about juicing, about fasting, when I myself lost a lot of weight also through the change of my diet, that there was a big shitstorm and a lot of negative comments, and people felt offended by the way I eat, or perhaps I was also too straightforward with my posts or things I said, like how to live your life. So I was kind of dictating people how to do it, and in which ways to eat, and in which ways to like detox. So of course people felt offended, and I felt it in ways of bad comments about myself, about the way I live. I was told that I'm harming my followers, that I'm talking about anorexia and losing weight, and that nobody will trust me because I look like a skeleton myself. So there was a lot of that. But since I changed more into the field of skin and facials, I think people don't feel so offended. They feel more supported. So from all this negativity, I have really moved into beautiful comments, into a lot of love and support that comes from my followers. And then, here and there are comments which are perhaps not really nice, but now that I'm more grounded than ever, more in my balance than ever, feeling super strong, feeling super successful, really feeling like I found myself, I'm not really touched by that anymore, because I know that these people actually are just seeking help, or they need attention, and all they want to share is their own pain. So I can see it with more compassion, I would say.
Yeah, I think you have built a beautiful community, to be honest. I mean, that's the way I feel. And also, whenever I see your Instagram stories or just your content, I feel like it's so peaceful and so kind. It's always like sharing from the truth, from your heart, and really wanting to provide, the support that people are looking for. So I think it's really wonderful.
Yeah, thank you that you see that. And I must say, of course, sometimes I write to bigger influencers or content creators. I want to ask them something, or I want to give them my feedback, or I want to invite them for Instagram Live on my feed, or things like that, And then they don't answer ever, even to the nicest like messages. So I feel like, I mean, even though you have 300,000 followers and I'm dropping you a very nice message, why don't you take this 1 minute time just to say, okay, thank you, or I don't have time, or I'm not in for that? I feel that's very impolite. So I'm always trying to give everybody who's reaching out my ear and a little bit of time. And if I can do more, then I really want to support. But of course, these days, everything that I've done for free 2, 3, 4 years ago, because it was less demands, I'm nowadays charging, because it became my living and it's my time and my energy, my expertise. So people know that, understand it, and like that, I don't feel drained anymore. I feel it's a very nice exchange, and it's working very well.
That's very good that you decided to do that. It's really, really important. That moment where you realized what you're giving and working, because it's work. So I think it's really important.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about why do you think it's important to take care of our skin the way you do?
Well, some people would say, my God, you do way too much. It's crazy. But for me, it's not only taking care of my skin, but it's taking a moment for myself. It's taking the moment in the bathroom or just sitting down in front of the mirror and loving myself by taking time to do my gua or my facial massage, to really tune in with myself, to nourish my soul, to reflect on the day, or just in the morning, before I did all these facial things, I was just rushing out of the house. I was always too late. I was always in stress. Yeah. So there was no time for myself. Nowadays, I take a little bit more extra time. I take these 5 or 6 minutes just to start the day in a different vibe. Somebody else may do breathing exercises. I dedicate this time to my skin. And I see the results, I feel much more comfortable when my skin is glowing. I feel proud of my own healing path. And, my skin is not perfect. You still see blemishes. But I think 10 days, 2 weeks ago, I threw away my makeup creams. So all these little steps just make me more comfortable in myself, more confident. And if you then look into the mirror doing all your exercises, it's like, wow, this is me. I have come so far, and now I'm sharing what I have to give. And that's then actually the gift to the community, and that's beautiful. And then from there, so much comes back, and it's just this continuous exchange of love, energy, wisdom, healing.
Yeah, I think I really agree with what you said. The way I see it also, and how I use this practice, whenever I do my skincare, it's really an act of self-love, so I don't really rush it. Of course, I've got some days that maybe I'm in a rush, so I just do like the cleaning part and the cream. But I really try to have this time of the day where it's like every single step, and also have this reflection moment, exactly the way you said it. I don't know. I just like looked to myself in front of the mirror and reflect about what happened that day, my feelings, my emotions, and all of that thing. So I think it's really important because it's really an act of self-love. So I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
What about gut health?
Gut health.
Yeah, how can it impact our health?
The gut is our second brain. Brain and gut connection is huge. And just these days, slowly, the modern westernized medicine is really understanding this massive connection. And it was funny because 2-3 days ago, I had this proof to myself again, that the gut really is connected to our emotions, to our brain, to our overall well-being, because we were traveling and I had like food that I wouldn't eat normally, and it was very greasy, and then I had coffee and this and that. So I just indulged, and I just didn't care. But the next day I woke up being so bloated. I didn't go to the toilet for 2 days. I was so grumpy. I was so bloated. I felt horrible. I looked like pregnant. And it really showed me that once you're not good here in your middle, you're not balanced, because all the toxins just go around your body. If you're not digesting well, all the fermented gas, all the toxins are just going into your blood. There's a lot of pressure in your body, so you tend to be like very on the edge. The liver is not feeling well. You don't look good because you might be puffy. You don't feel well because you're just like about to explode. So gut health is super important. And once we are in balance with our gut, we are in balance with our well-being, in tune with like everything. You can think clearer, you can act more focused. If, for example, I don't eat dinner, I realize that I wake up super early in the morning. I wake up around 5:30 or 6, like ready to start the day, because my body's clean, my body is ready, my body is focused. If you eat very late at night, you know that you have this feeling of, oh, I don't want to get up. I feel like tired, tight, puffy. So there is so much connected from our gut health to the whole body, to the brain, to our outer appearance, and to our energetic level.
Yeah. No, it is true. I think it's really surprising how years ago, in the medical field, it was thought about gut health as something very simple, like super simple. It's just the digestive system. And in the late years, since there have been more studies and also more focus into the gut microbiome, they have seen that there's actually a lot of impact in our immune system, in our mental health, in the endocrine health. It's so much. So what you're saying is completely true. There's so much that can be affected if we have a really bad gut health. So I think it's wonderful that you are putting the message out there and bringing awareness towards this field, because it's amazing. Even like which is going to lead me to the next question, but even the skin and also cancer is linked to a bad gut. So
100%. And it's funny because you said now all these medical terms, and yes, our gut is just the center of our health. And many people, they wonder why they have these allergies and why they have, I don't know, all these diseases, and they put in all the pills and all these crazy things that the doctors subscribe. And at the end of the day, less is more. The less we put in our body, the less fat, the less carbs, the less gluten, the less artificial sugars, the better we start feeling. And also with the food, we don't need 3 meals a day and all the snacks in between and all the sugary drinks in between. And it's just crazy. We are overfeeding ourselves into a very sick status of our being. So the less we take in, the better we actually feel. And people don't realize that if they would just stop all this crazy food, all their diseases would just go away. But yeah.
But it's really hard to get this message to people because they really don't believe it, right? It took a while until I actually saw and learned about this. Before I would completely agree with breakfast, lunch, then you have a snack, and then you have dinner. And of course, breakfast is a massive bowl of cereals, and then in the lunch is pasta or a sandwich, or snacks is more carbs, the way you said, and dinner. So really your body, it's working 24 hours and not resting, and it's crazy.
Yeah, because we took it over from very ancient times, because 100, 200 years ago, when people worked on the fields or in crazy, exhausting professions, of course they needed 3 or 4 meals a day. Or if you look to the Ayurvedic tradition in India, where they eat even 5 dishes a meal a day. But look at the Indian farmers, how hard they're working, 12 hours a day. Of course they need more, but they have never eaten these big portions as we have done. They eat a handful, and then it's 5 handfuls for a whole day, and they have crazy exhausting days of full work. And nowadays, we work a lot of hours, but we may basically sitting down all day in front of the laptop, not moving, not burning calories. It's not physically exhausting, and yet we eat bigger portions with more food than ever before. And then we have not even talked about how the food has changed. Like bread is not the bread that it used to be. It's full of artificial flavors. It's full of bad salts. It's full of gluten that we can't digest because they change the proteins and the gluten so that 90% of the people are allergic to it. So it's just endless to talk about this topic.
It's crazy. Oh my god, I really hope that one day we manage to bring the real message and awareness to every single person out there. So the answer to the next question is probably like very obvious, but I'm just going to ask you so that we can talk about it. Is there a correlation between our skin and our gut health?
Yeah, absolutely. And I once asked my yoga teacher, because I get so frustrated, if I just even look at sweets, I already break out. And I asked her, how can that be that some people they drink Red Bull for breakfast, they smoke, and they have all this food that I would never eat, and still they look so perfect. And then I have one little thing once, and I'm breaking out. And she told me, you know what? If a dog pees on a very beautiful, green, healthy lawn, you will see the spot of the pee because it will turn yellow in the sun. But if the dog pees on a lot of garbage in a dirty road, nobody will see it because there's a lot of garbage and stuff. And that meant that she wanted to tell me in a picture that if your body is very clean and very healthy, the junk will kick in and your body wants to get rid of it instantly. And how does the body get rid of things? Over the skin, because it's our largest detox organ. So if I eat junk or drink a Coke, I will see pimples in my face next day because my body's just like, what is this? We want to get it out. Yeah. If somebody who's eating chips and drinking Coke every single day and smoking on top and eating McDonald's and drinking alcohol, the body's used to that and just stores it in the fat depots. It's not getting it out over the skin immediately. Therefore, you need to do detox and fasting. So this will be a whole process for these people. So yes, the skin is our largest detox organ, and we see things on the skin. We see our lifestyle on our skin. Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my God. That comparison. I was not expecting that. So crazy.
Yeah, and this was really the reason why I started these massive pigmentation spots, because I told you my life was not always that healthy. I was big in partying. I love to drink. Like, I'm from the restaurant business, from the restaurant industry. I was working in bars for years and years. My life was at night. My life was alcohol and going out. So I had a lot of toxins stored in my body. And once I started this path of being more conscious, more healthy, more cleaning my system, my glands, it pushed the dirt out. And you could see it on my skin, because when the sun shines on the skin, all these toxins turn into brown spots, and that's what we call melasma. And my melasma was huge. So that was my body cleaning itself. And it took me a while to understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, it also took me a while to understand all of this. And I just feel so related with what you said. But before, I was exactly the same. Like, in college, I would party every day. And like, the drinking was every single day, just because I had classes in the afternoon, so I could manage to do that. So I would party like crazy, eat really, really bad, and then just sleep like 4 or 5 hours, and then I was awake and rushing with a coffee to class, and then repeat. It was not until like after my master's that I was realizing this cannot be okay. Like, this is not, and then I started watching all the TED Talks and YouTube videos and people just talking and starting to speak out. And I was like, we should change this.
100%. I hear you. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what are the things that are like the musts for you to do when regarding your skin and your gut? Like, just name a few things that you think are complete must and you think everybody should do.
I feel that in our society, we eat way too much salt, especially very bad salt. So we are basically drying out from the inside. On the one hand, we're not drinking liquids that hydrate on cellular level. So if you're drinking regular tap water or tea from regular tap water, this water is not the water that the body can actually absorb. So the water is just rinsing through you, not hydrating you. On top, you're eating all that bad salt. It's not that I'm talking about the salt that you're seasoning your meals with, but it's the salt that you find in cheese, the salt that you find in bread, all the hidden salt, that's very drying out, very bad for our glands. So people think when they have wrinkles in their face or when their hair gets gray, that this is because they're aging. But actually, we wouldn't age as fast with a more healthy diet, with more hydration on cellular level. Our bodies are dried out. And this is what we see on the face with wrinkles and with white hair. So reducing salt and hydrating more on cellular level, this is what I would recommend for everybody. But of course, it's a lifestyle, then you need to change your habits in eating bread, then you need to change your habits of eating cheese, and then, oh my God, I cannot drink tap water anymore. So what do I do now? Do I need a filter for 2,000-3,000 euros? Okay. Do I start juicing? Now what? I have to juice every day. So it's too much for people. And that's why I'm very careful with all that.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, because I feel like this is something a lot of women go through. What is your advice when we're bloated? Like either from something bad that we ate, or when, our period comes, we're really bloated, some of us. So what would your advice be when we're experiencing this?
Yeah, bloating is such a huge issue. Also for me, after all these years, I am suffering from bloating very easily. So I love this question. Thank you for asking. I think the most important point is to see where's your bloating coming from, because there's a bunch of things that you can do once you're bloated. But when the bloating is coming back and back and back, then you need to understand why you're getting bloated. So is it because you are combining food in a way that you shouldn't combine it? Is it because you're drinking and eating at the same time? Is it because you have some kind of fungus or parasite? Is it because you're very gassy and you have a lot of waste material, so poop in your colon that is sitting there and not coming out? There's many reasons. But I think even an English video on my YouTube channel where I'm talking about the SOS for bloating. And I always love enemas, but it's a quick solution, So, and people they don't really like enemas most of the times. So I feel that if you drink a turmeric shot with coconut and lemon, or just pure lemon shot, that always helps. If you start hydrating yourself, if you drink warm ginger water and belly massages, this is always something that helps.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, I will leave your video link down below for people that are interested, and a reminder of the turmeric shot. Now that you mentioned this shot, what do you think about this super popular ginger shots that a lot of influencers are taking in the morning, and they share it on their, YouTube videos or Instagram? Have you seen them?
Ginger shots?
Yeah, they take ginger shots in the morning. I think it has lemon, maybe. I'm not entirely sure.
I think it's definitely a great idea, instead of having a coffee, to have a ginger shot. But people have to be careful, because ginger can also be very aggressive. Yeah. So for people who already have a sensitive stomach, or who have some inflammation in the stomach, it might not be the best. So if you feel that your body is reacting weird to it, or you're having acidic movements afterwards, or you feel that it's not very well digested, then you might be looking into the reason why. Because ginger is harsh, especially in the morning. But it's great.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. Thank you so much for this. Okay, so for other women to feel inspired by you the way I do, would you like to share how you feel working in your environment as a woman, and if there are any difficulties that you encountered?
Working online from anywhere in the world, like I am in Mexico in the moment, is something very empowering. And running your own business is very empowering too, because you start to understand that you can actually achieve anything in this world. And no matter if you are a single mom, if you divorce, or if you have your own business, or if you want to change your life, or if you want to find more freedom, there is so many possibilities. And I really want to encourage all the women out there to start doing like the first step, because there's always 100,000 things that come into our mind telling us, no, you cannot do that. You will never achieve that. You will never be successful in that. But it's not true, because if you really want it, and if you get the right people around you that support you and that lift you up and that give you the knowledge and the education, you can achieve it. So don't listen to all the bugs in your head, but just start the first step and go for it, because it is possible.
Absolutely, 100%. Also, apart from the thoughts that we have, it's like I feel a lot of us delay something that we really want to start by thinking it's still not the right moment. And sometimes it just is, you just have to do it. So yeah, I think that it's really one of the big delays.
Yeah, because it's more easy, to stay in the comfort zone by telling yourself excuses. I cannot do it, or it's not the right moment, or first I need to do this course and this educational program, and then I will do it, or now my kids need my time. There's always something that you can tell yourself, and then you stay in your comfort zone, and you stay in these circles, and you're unhappy and never realizing your own goals. So yeah, get out of your comfort zone, and you will be rewarded big time.
Yeah, absolutely. So would you like to share how you balance your work with your life? So for me, for instance, I work on my PhD, and also on the side I'm trying to build my business. And I just love both of them. And sometimes it's just really hard to stop working and realize that I'm overworking and I need to dedicate time for myself. So I really like to ask this question to everyone that I interview, like, how do you try to balance work and your life?
Absolutely. And I totally hear you. It's funny that you asked that, because I'm actually the person that needs a little learning in that field. I tend to overwork all the time. The thing is, I do what I love, so it never feels like work. I want to push it. I want to grow it. It's my baby. So of course I'm there like all the time and trying to do more and carry more and do this and that and nourish it and feed it, because it's my little baby. But yes, of course, I need time off, and I need somebody to remind me like, hey, now we're going to the beach. You already worked for the last 4 hours. So what I always include in my day is my morning routine. Like, nothing can take me away from that. There has to be some workout or sweating or yoga in my morning routine. Otherwise, I cannot start my day. This is something that nobody takes away. And I have to confess that my partner is quite good in reminding me to, like, okay, now you stop, now you breathe, now we go out, go for food, go for the beach, and then you come back, and then you can start working again. So there is definitely learning for me. And I think it's just because you love what you do, so it's hard to take a step back.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But yeah, I love how you say that to your partner is part of the reminder, because mine is too. Sometimes he has just to remind, like, it's time to stop. Let's do something else. You've been working way too much. Yeah.
And in times like being available 24/7 on social media, it's hard because people expect so much, and then you're like, oh, but no, I have to answer this, and I have to do that now, and I have to still send the email. And if I'm telling myself, okay, it's totally fine if you do it tomorrow, I'm reminding myself, and I'm just getting a little bit more realistic, because nothing has to be done within like the next 2 hours. No email has to be answered within 30 minutes. It's okay if you postpone it, and if you do it in your pace. And if I do that, I can work more like enthusiastically. I'm not getting drained because I do things in my pace, and I don't get myself stressed too much, because if I'm like, I have to do this now, I'm getting worn out, and this is not possible, because if you're your own boss, you need to be there all the time. So being worn out is not an option.
Yeah. I also feel like it's harder to leave something for the next day when it comes, like what you mentioned before, when you want to be really polite and be there for them and like show them that you're there, that you can count, that they can count on us, you know? So I feel like that is even harder to say, like, no, I will reply tomorrow. Whenever I see a message, I'm like, I have to reply now because, you know, they have a question or they need help with something. So I have to, you know? It's so hard.
Absolutely. Yeah. But, you know, I have been working for bosses like half of my life, and it always felt differently. I like dragged myself to work, and nowadays I'm jumping out of the bed because I want to start the day, because I'm working for myself, for my own business, and it's just such a different energy that I really enjoy what I do.
That's so amazing. I love that. So I wanted to ask you, apart from the habits that you mentioned for skin care and gut health, what are your healthy habits, which we can already know a little bit for what you have mentioned, like with yoga and your exercise, but what are the healthy habits that you think are really important for our health?
I stay away from refined sugar. I eat a lot of hydrating fruits and vegetables. I stopped drinking alcohol 4 years ago. And of course, there's mental health also. So I try to stay positive, surround myself with positive people, uplifting people. I try to clean my mind, you know, to reflect, to let go of all traumas, to work on trauma and blockages. So there's the healing on one level, but then there is also the healing on deeper levels. So it's not only about drinking green juices all day long. It's deeper than that as well.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So is there anything regarding health field, skin care, or gut health that you would like to add?
I think we've covered quite a lot. I think we have concluded it. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Okay, so I'm going to link all of your social media and your website here, but if you want, you can mention how people can connect with you if they want to follow your journey. So yeah, you can mention for our audience.
I think if you include my website and my Instagram, that will show everything that is important and where people can find me, and also my programs. Yeah, I think that should do.
That's great. Also, just a reminder that Sophie and I had a live talking about how important water is. So I will also leave that linked because that talk just was so inspiring and really motivating. It changed the way I see water. So yeah. Okay, so is there anything that you would like to share before closing the interview?
Just to anybody who's like on the doorstep to changing things in life, do it, trust in yourself, have the courage to step out there and believing in yourself that you can change it. And it is possible.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so Sophie, thank you so much again for being here.
Thank you so much, Finoula.
I really hope that you have a wonderful day in Mexico, and I cannot wait to see what you create in the future.
Yes, sending so much sunshine from here, and I can't wait to listen to the podcast myself.
We'll let you know as soon as it's out.
Please. Have a beautiful afternoon.
You too. Thank you so much again. Bye.